Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Findlay family YMCA proudly brings to you its podcast heard around the world. The place where you belong. The place where you stay informed. The Y Guy Podcast. And welcome into the Y Guy Podcast. Woo! Woo! Episode 3 with the man of the Y, Mr. Jerry McNamee, who is the senior program director at the YMCA. We got him away from everything today, probably mowing, camping, doing youth sports, tennis. Goodness, what don't you do? But anyway, Jerry, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, morning, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing well on this fine day in the nation's top micropolitan. So,
10 times zone?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for being here, Jerry. We'll just kind of start where we usually do with all my guests and tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up, and all that fun stuff.
I am from the great city of Great Falls, Montana. I grew up there. Grew up in the great outdoors in Big Sky Country. Eventually, met my wife, Susan, started dating her, and then traveled around the country. And at one point, early on in our relationship, we lived in 4 states in a little over 4.5 years. We went from Montana to Michigan, to where she went to school at U of M, and then down to Texas for a few years, and then came up here where she's a professor at BGSU. So I get the joy of just following my wife around the country and seeing different things and learning stuff, but originally from Big Sky Country in Montana.
And fun fact, your wife plays the bassoon, right?
Fun fact, she is a world-renowned bassoonist. And for those who are wondering, what is the bassoon? It is, if you ever watch the Alfred Hitchcock show, The Death of a Marionette, that is a very famous bassoon piece.
Yeah, pretty sweat. Mm-hmm. I never knew what a bassoon was until, that's pretty gnarly instrument.
Yeah, neither did I. So I get to hear more of it than I want to sometimes. She's extraordinarily talented.
I love
Beautiful.
it. I love it. Wow. Look at that. Shout out to the wifey on the podcast.
What's up, Susie, baby?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Anywho. Also, people can't see, but Jerry's wearing a Notre Dame hat right now, and he's a Notre Dame fan. So we do feel sorry for him because I don't think Notre Dame's won anything probably since Abraham Lincoln was in office or something like that. So
1988?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, irrelevant.
Yeah.
What's their saying? Play like a champion today.
Play like a champion today.
But just today, apparently, not for a whole season.
I'll keep my quietness to myself because putting 10 guys on the field on a goal line stand against Ohio State last year didn't quite work out.
Yeah, well.
But no, and that's the cool part. Actually, last week when we drove out to Montana, I drove my wife and kids out there. We stopped by Notre Dame and did a little campus tour, so it was really cool to share that with my kids, and do Touchdown Jesus and spend way too much money at the bookstore.
Yeah, sure.
But
gotta do it right.
You have to. Tried to get into the stadium. My wife, very good conscience, was like, Jerry, just because the lock isn't locked doesn't mean you can go in. It was placed on the thing, and I was like, we can go down the tunnel and just kind of like, we're just a sprint, but...
You could have been like Rudy.
I could have been
Rudy. Also, which... Yeah, I got my own qualms about Rudy, but...
Well, the movie itself is great if it was... But the way they told the movie is completely fiction.
Yeah, right. That's
but, tremendous movie, great story, not true at all.
That's right. Well, that's Hollywood for you, right? That's how they get you.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, they probably don't want to hear us talking about this stuff, but
I have the microphone, and they will listen to every word I say.
Yeah, that is true. You are Jerry from the Y. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jerry from the Y. Anyway, that's a Jenny from the Block reference if you guys know what I'm talking about. If not, look up J-Lo. That was probably from 2000s, Jenny from the Block.
Yeah. The 2000s.
Yeah, anyway, shout out to J-Lo, I guess. Anywho, we're back. We're back. Thanks for staying with us so far. So let's get into some YMCA stuff because that's why we're here, right? You've been with the Y in multiple roles. I shouldn't say a lot, but a few different Ys. So I guess let's start with how long you've worked for the YMCA in general, not just the Findlay Y, just for the YMCA, the whole thing.
Off and on, going on 20 years now.
20?
20. 2004.
Holy smokes.
2004 was my first summer at YMCA the Rockies.
Wow. I'm trying to think.
I was a camp counselor at YMCA the Rockies during college. That was 2004.
I was 12.
Okay, boomer. Gen Z, Boston, a minute. It was 2004. I was in college, and I went and worked for YMCA the Rockies. I got as a good college student, which I was not, but I was sitting in a computer class, and they had a poster on the wall about working outside and playing with kids and working towards a degree in education. And I was like, I could use some more experience. I like being outside. So instead of paying attention in class, I applied for a job.
Oh, sure.
As one naturally does.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're there for anyway. Yeah.
So then I received, got that job and spent summer 2004, 2005 as a day camp counselor for Y the Rockies. And then when met Susan, and then we ended up moving to Ann Arbor, and that was 2007-ish, 2008. Started out as a volunteer flag football coach at the Ann Arbor.
Volunteer flag football.
Volunteer flag football
wow.
coach. And got to know the director there, still really good friends, and mentoring with Steve Petty. And fell in love with what the Y was. And what I did in a community. Y the Rockies was people from all over the country come and visit there. We shared a border with Rocky Mountain National Park.
Sure.
Did that kind of stuff. So people would kind of come on vacation. So you'd have kids for like a day or a week or even 3 weeks. And then, but they were all really excited to be there. And then different working in a community in Ann Arbor. Got to know Steve after my volunteer stint, and then became a part-time position of the youth sports director, or youth sports coordinator, sorry, not director, youth sports coordinator. So ran the youth sports leagues for the Ann Arbor Y. Tremendous facility, tremendous culture, just really, and at the time, describe it as my sitcom phase of my life. Disposable income, no kids. Yeah, it was just kind of, and working there. And did some great stuff, and really got into the mission of the Y, like what we do for the community.
Yep.
And then eventually became the youth sports and outreach coordinator for the Ann Arbor Y. And part of that outreach was a grant at the time called Activate America was awarded to the Ann Arbor Y. And I was told and this was at the height of the recession, so 2008, 2009. I got the job down there, and one thing that we did was we were supposed to go out to Ypsilanti, Michigan, and that was hit pretty hard by the recession. They had closed down their Parks and Rec department for the city, that kind of stuff. So we were told to go out. I was told to go out there and start programming.
From scratch?
From scratch.
Oh.
So started with an after-school basketball class.
Oh.
Some kids at Adams Steam Elementary, and got to know people. And it was a hard economic time, very low socioeconomic, racially diverse area. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And we started day camp out there. And day camp was we had, we didn't even have storage. It was, my car was used as storage. I had, we started out with 8 kids, 4 square champion. A lot of knockout, a lot of games, a lot of figuring it out. But it was a park and a porta potty. Like it wasn't. We didn't even have. We had a little like picnic table area with a shelter. Like that was it. So really like taking that the Rockies experience where the kids constantly change and the activities can kind of stay the same and kids are on vacation, so very different aspects of life. And then to go into Ypsilanti and have like, you know, kids that you're really trying to keep away from gang activity and to do some other stuff.
Sure.
And not having a lot of resources or supplies or even like a storage space or anything else like that.
Well, you just make it work, you know?
We did. And that first
for the kids.
That first summer, I think we didn't serve a lot of kids. Like, I think we had 115, 120 total over the course of like 8-9 weeks. The next summer, we had over 300 over the course of
That's awesome.
10 weeks. And it was great. And those programs have continued to grow even after I left there. But like that was some true YMCA, like, we have to go make this work for the community. We have to make this work and you don't quite know how it's going to work. So you got to be flexible. You got to do your job. And I mean, it grew. Our sports programs grew out there.
Yeah.
We went and did flag football. We had soccer. We did basketball. To where we had jamboree days where each school would practice at their school themselves, and then every other Saturday we'd bring everybody together for like a round robin basketball, not tournament type thing, but like you're going to play 3 to 4 games this day at Eastern Michigan University or anything else like that. So but time in Ann Arbor was fantastic and great.
Sure.
And then my wife decided that I have to graduate and we can't stay in Ann Arbor because my schooling's done. So she graduated with her doctorate, and she got a job teaching at Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, Texas.
Nacogdoches, Texas.
The Wacky Nacky.
Nacogdoches. Sounds like a nursery rhyme or something.
You want to? Do you actually? I can tell you where the name came from if you really want to.
No, I don't.
Sure?
Yeah, for the sake of my time, everybody else's. I don't want to know. But I thought of Nacogdoches. That's like a word. Can you use it in a sentence? What's the origin definition? But I don't know why. As soon as you said Nacogdoches, I thought of Fergalicious. I don't know why I thought of Fergalicious definition. Apparently, I'm singing songs today.
You're
Make
going,
the boys go loco.
You're going basic white girl songs from the 2000s here.
No way.
We've got Jenny from the Block already.
Jenny from the Block. OG.
We've got
Fergalicious. Fergie, and remember when she sang the national anthem?
That was atrocious. Who was it?
Whoa, Zay, can you see? Oh, it was so bad.
That was so bad.
And then the NBA players were laughing.
Steph Curry was losing it, man. Steph Curry just losing it.
Yeah. Sorry.
No.
Back to
so then I
Fergalicious, or wherever it was.
Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches.
I spent 2 years working for the YMCA of Greater Houston as a sports and aquatics director. A little over 2 years down there. Great time. I got to learn aquatics, which is its own beast by itself.
It is. Goodness gracious, yes.
And learning a lot of... There's a lot of great stuff the Y does, but at the end of the day, like, we're a business, so I also got to learn a lot of the business side of the YMCA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is... There's no mission without margin, and so learning that and being on board with it and learning how to do all that kind of stuff was great, and learning aquatics and a different community. It was not the greatest area to work in.
Sure.
A lot of hard work, a lot of taking care of people that needed the Y. And it was a very good experience. It was very hard.
Yeah.
It was hard work.
Yeah.
And then after that, after my wife got a job teaching up at BGSU, spent a few years working for VG Parks and Rec.
BGSU.
And then, but really missed out on, and I love my time at BG, at Parks and Rec, but really missed out on the mission of the Y. I was doing similar things. I was helping out with youth sports and doing that kind of stuff, but there wasn't the heart behind it.
Sure.
And so, again, got bored at work one day and just started Googling jobs. And
what's Findlay, Ohio?
Findlay, Ohio, and kind of Google mapped it and realized that it was only like 20 miles down the road.
Yeah.
Applied on the last day. My wife was over in Austria at the time, where she was doing a world tour for bassoon.
Superstar.
And so she was, humble brag. And then by the time she came back, I had a new job, and I applied on the last day they were accepting.
By the way,
went through the whole process, and started coming up on about 10 years, mid-September here.
You've been 10 years at Findlay Y?
9 or 10, yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, though. So
it does. It does. Yeah.
I was hired as the sports and camp director here, and then after working for a while, about 2 years ago, became the senior program director.
Yes, you have, and you haven't looked back since, Jerry.
I have not.
You've been doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
So that was kind of going to be my next question is, you've done a lot at Y, and the Ys in general, but I know since I've been working at the Findlay Y, you've done a lot from aquatics to camp to youth sports. Crazy. Mm-hmm. So what is your, as a senior program director now, I guess, what's all under your umbrella? What do you oversee?
So currently right now I have Christy is overseeing. I oversee Christy, who oversees our family programming, our kids' night out, our preschool programming.
Yeah, which, let me cut in. Christy does fantastic. So if you guys are looking for that kind of programming, 1,000% sign up for that. It is legit with a capital L. Sorry, go ahead.
She's and she's always the best part with Christy is her amount of creativity she brings. There's always
she's great,
new and different. Involved in the day-to-day of our youth sports leagues and classes. Do a lot of hiring, training, and that kind of stuff. So right now, Balloon Fest just ended. I don't know when this is going to air, but we're taping it just right after Balloon Fest. So we're getting the soccer fields ready. So this morning, out mowing or working with a person that we hired to mow, and some community people, Van Horn, Dan Stone over at Van Horn and Associates. They're out surveying the corners of the soccer fields, coordinating with U of F about the striping of those. And then Andy Smith and U of F soccer team would come out and they help us move the goals. So
nice.
Here over the course of the next week and a half is mainly getting Emory Adams ready for soccer.
Sure.
And not just for the Y, but for our community, the other club teams that are there, GTFC, Pacesetter South, working with Arcadia High School and their club team because they don't have a full-size field out there.
Sure.
So working with them and being that place for community.
Yeah, a lot of good collaboration.
It is, and it really does take a village. So a lot of that is meetings and emails and taking care of that. And then tonight, I'll be out there along with you, coaching our kids at T-ball.
Yes, sir.
And so trying to be that dad while trying to make sure that program happens and that every kid kind of has a great experience. But Chase Wellman is our site supervisor and all persons, the kind of sports that's out there, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Out of Van Loo, really responsible, doing a great job. But at the same time, like yesterday, sent the email out to last year's basketball referees to see how many people, so we can get ready for our basketball league and hiring soccer officials and basketball officials. And then I also oversee Katie, who's our aquatics director.
Yep.
And there are swim lessons and lifeguard certifications, Riverside Pool, swim team, all this stuff that kind of falls under our aquatics umbrella. And then Elizabeth Hadler is our U of F. We partner with U of F. We collaborate with U of F about our racket sports, but Elizabeth is our main contact with them.
Nice.
So I help oversee and steer our tennis and pickleball programming, and then also at the same time we have Sensei Sean with judo, we have Miss Tina with preschool camps and gymnastics. They report to me, so it's a good amount of stuff, but it's also a lot of fun and being able to drive what the organization does.
Yeah, so kind of what I'm understanding is you need a couple more things to do. You're not very busy throughout the day. That's kind of what I gathered.
And right now, during the seasonal portion of it, day camp's going on, but Emily Stahl is doing a fantastic job of being our site director and our person out there that is really killing it this summer.
I think, from an outsider's perspective and then also an insider's perspective, because on the outside you're like, oh, okay, this is t-ball or this is camp, but working on the inside you're like, there are a million things that have to go on to see this product, so it's a lot of hands on deck, a lot of meetings that I see you in, and you do a great job of getting people where they need to be and letting kids have fun and just be kids too. The Y is a good place to do all kinds of activities, and with camp and youth sports, do a great job. I know it's a lot. It's gotten a lot better since bigger, I should say too, since I was a kid. So
that's right. You were a camp counselor, weren't you?
I did dabble in
Y-ball.
I did. Yep. I was a Y brat.
Gray Y-ball.
Yeah, gray Y. We called it gray Y.
All my time and all my travels of YMCA stuff, that was not, I'd never heard gray Y, and then I got out here and I was like, why do we call it gray Y?
Yeah, I don't know.
The man, the myth, the legend, the Ron Ammons finally let me know why it's called gray Y.
Ron Ammons, what a good guy. Shout out to Ron Ammons. Yeah, he's a good dude. It was a Y brat. I did basketball and all kinds of sports, and then I camp counseled. That's how I got started, being a camp counselor in the summer. That was interesting. But I learned from it. I practiced some patience, but it helps me with coaching t-ball that I'm currently coaching. So
I will say this: I think anybody that has spent at least a summer or two being a camp counselor, I truly believe that you can do whatever you choose to go into as a professional. That those summers of working in camp can prepare you for anything.
Oh, I can 100% agree with that.
Like the day that there's a rain day, and you have the best laid plans, and it just goes out the window because of the weather.
Yeah.
Or even on the opposite side, when you're really hoping for a rain day and you're planning for a rain day, and it never comes, and you're like, I could really go for a rain day.
Yeah. No, I get it. I've been there, done that. But yeah, they're the unsung heroes, camp counselors, for sure.
And I think that the hard part, people and people realize this, but those are young adults learning a profession, learning a job, and unfortunately, by the time they kind of get it, they're done. Like they move on, but that's the goal. That's the part of the Y that is a blessing for everybody else. I can think of actually last night. Harley Sloan, who was a camp counselor for us for like 4 years, Harley gave me a call. She's getting ready for she's in Ohio visiting family. She's chatting with people and doing that kind of stuff. So she just called to say hi. And she'd been a teacher for 5 years, and she'll give credit to her time at camp.
Yeah.
About preparing, lesson planning, like learning her philosophy and doing that kind of stuff. So she really hit the ground running as a teacher because of her experience at camp.
And I'm always shocked, too. I've talked to a lot of people when I say, I worked at the Y, or I work at the Y, and they're like, oh, yeah, I used to be a counselor way back in college and high school. It's just so bizarre. I've talked to so many people like that, like, oh, yeah, either here at the Findlay Y or just like wherever they're from. It's just weird. It's like, I used to be a camp counselor, and like, so taken back by like, there's more people than I...
Last night, that before my time, we were chatting out at T-Ball, and she was like, well, I used to work at the Y. I was in the Discovery Center, and I was like, you were?
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, this was a long time ago, and I was like, I've been there a long time.
Yeah.
But at some point, everybody in Hancock County comes through our Y.
At some point, 1,000%.
Everybody has a good Y story.
Yeah, that's great.
They learn to swim there. They learn to lift weights. They they met a friend, they lost weight, they tried a sport, they played, they were in camp. So it's an awesome responsibility that we have as Y professionals to make sure that experience is good and that people want to come back to it as much as they can.
Amen to that, Jerry. Praise the Lord. Speaking, can I get an amen? What's that commercial where they're like, can I get a hot tub? What was? You remember what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh man, was it an insurance commercial? I think it's an insurance commercial. It might have been State Farm.
Yeah, that sounds like a State Farm.
Yeah.
This is
can
ludicrous.
I get a hot tub? Yeah. Yeah, Ludacris is now. Yeah. Luda. He's in
early 2000s hip hop, man.
Yeah, Fast and Furious too, with his big afro. Yeah, I had an afro once.
What?
Yeah.
I got
fun fact. Yeah, I do. I had an afro my freshman year of high school. Well, probably 8th grade and freshman year of high school. Oh yeah, I put a pick in it and everything. People would put their pencils. No. I would have people put pencils. Well, I didn't have people. They just did it. They put pencils and stuff in my hair, and I wouldn't be able to tell. And I'd like go to wash my hair, and I'd find like a pencil in my hair that they stuck in my fro. Yeah. Anyway, so when I played basketball, they would always say the fro fake. You can give them the fro fake. So, yeah. So, fro fake is also my PlayStation name. So.
No way.
Oh yeah, it's still alive. I'm 32 years old. Yeah, I still play PlayStation. Judge me if you want.
I've known you for like 5 years. I consider us good friends. And
fro fake.
I've never heard fro fake.
Yep, fro fake. Give them the fro fake. Our student section used to wear fake afros.
No way.
It was awesome. And then
so was this at like the height of like Ben Wallace and the Pistons?
Yeah. And then I got my hair braided and I had rocked cornrows for 2 years.
So you went from Ben Wallace to Spree, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Should have called me the Trail Spreewell, you know? But after that, I just cut off all my hair because I was like, all right, that phase is over. Time to be an adult.
I will have to dig up a picture, but people don't believe this because I've been bald since I fought it for a long time, but really about mid-20s, it really started to recede well, I'm going to leave that analogy alone, but it started to recede pretty bad.
Your head is so shiny.
But there was a time in freshman year of college, I grew it out, and I had long hair down my shoulders, a couple earrings, and that kind of stuff.
Rock on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Listening to Pearl Jam and Tool with my long, stringy hair looking like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, Lord.
With my earrings.
Oh, like Scoob.
You can still see the scars in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always one of the fun parts when I go swimming out with the kids in camp or lift my shirt up and like on my arm, and they're like, "You have tattoos, Mr. Jerry?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have two."
Yeah.
I was a kid at one time.
See, I would get a tattoo, but I'm afraid of needles, so I'm a big wuss.
Susan put the kibosh on it anymore, so.
I would also like, when I was playing baseball at UF, fellow alumni here at the Oilers, University of Findlay baseball team, I was like, if I'm pitching, I could get like a sleeve tattoo and I'd look sick, but I'm afraid of needles, so I never did. And I thought, maybe that'll help me out in professional life. So anyway, I didn't. But anywho, speaking of sports,
sleeve tattoo. Pretty sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I'm too afraid of needles.
No regrets, man. No regrets.
Not even one letter? Speaking of sports, U Sports.
Yes.
That's why. What do we got coming up? Soccer. You said soccer's about to start. Are you still?
Registration has ended, though.
Okay, registration has ended.
But the season itself will begin after Labor Day, and for our younger groups, U10 through Little Kickers will start after Labor Day. And then our older kids, our U12 and U15, we participate in the Black Swamp League.
Yep.
So that begins. They begin practicing this week, and those kids they play through late October. But registration for our fall 2 session or our indoor fall session will start up, and we have some. That's our youth basketball league.
Yeah.
That's our what we would call our instructional or recreational league.
Yep.
That's a tremendous program. Wouldn't work without our community partners at Findlay City Schools and Van Buren School and Van Loo and Cary and St. Mike's. That league is about 600 kids and a ton of volunteers that really
600.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's crazy. It's we get teams from Upper Sandusky, we get teams from Cary all the way down to North Baltimore, from Liberty Benton to Van Buren and Findlay itself. The coolest part about my gig is it's very seasonal, so I get to see people around some certain seasons. And to see those people come back and see how their year has been or the last few months.
Right.
And to have that kind of connection with people where I don't get to see the people from Macomb. They do some fun things, but they come in for basketball and for a lot of them it's how you been, how are your kids, and they're asking me the same thing about my boys.
Right.
So always a cool thing, and excited for soccer to get started. Excited for, and then our basketball league, and then registration opens up in about a week from now for that, and we go from there. And then for our little kids, like we also have our off-season kind of sports training classes where those people, for people that maybe just want to see if maybe your kid might be interested in basketball, maybe they're interested in soccer.
Right.
And you've been through the very popular classes with your children about our Tiny Tot programs, where it's Tiny Tot basketball, Tiny Tot soccer, where a parent-child class where it is the main goal of that class isn't to develop skills, it's to teach that sports are fun and playing with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, the adult who brings it is fun.
Yeah. You don't hand out scholarships.
No, and to take it off of mom and dad's plate, where if you want to introduce your kid to a sport, you don't have to run out and buy equipment. You don't have to do anything like that. Like, we're going to set up the stations. You can go through it. You can have fun. And we also do a little bit of game at the end where we do some skill development, but it's mainly just our main thought is those kids, we need to teach them that sports are fun, playing with mom and dad are fun, and for mom and dad, it's a great place to go. I don't know where to start, and we go, well, we got this. We can do this, and it's one of my favorite classes. Both my sons have been through it, and now I get last year. Hayden, your son went through it, and Serena's getting on that age now. And it's fun to watch adults when I say, like, stomps like a dinosaur, which is just it's what we call high knees, and to watch
the adults
have to do it, but the kids really do love playing with the adult that brings it.
Absolutely.
And to see that, and the cool part about my gig, there's some kids that have been at this wide long enough now that they started in Tiny Tots, and now, I mean, there's a few of them that I had in preschool gym or preschool boot camp. Toddler boot camp.
We got there.
And, well, they're now in coach pitch baseball and crushing a ball. And
that's awesome.
I've known them since they were, in diapers. And so that's always really fun.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I saw a post yesterday on Facebook that there was it's like 4 YMCAs, I don't know where they're at, somewhere in the United States, that the Olympic swimmers, the 4x1 relay teams, they all started swimming at the Y. I was like,
Y.
How cool.
That is cool.
It's really cool. They had like tagged all the Ys, and the Ys was like posting there. It was cool. Very cool.
Really cool. I did see that as well.
Yeah. It puts it in perspective.
The Y as a whole, whether you're not just for kids, like if you're an adult and your doctor says you got to get in shape, the Y is a great place to start. We're warm, we're welcoming, we're genuine. I don't think the people that work at the Y are driven by. I think we're truly driven by what our mission is.
Oh yeah, I second that.
And being a part of the community, understanding that. My last name in Findlay, Ohio, is from the Y. It's not McNamee. It's Jerry from the Y.
Jerry from the Y.
Which is a very cool thing, but it's a ton of responsibility as well.
Yeah, it's great. So you mentioned basketball, soccer. So we also have t-ball, volleyball,
t-ball, volleyball,
flag football.
Those are our big sports leagues, and we offer fall soccer, spring soccer, two seasons of basketball. and we offer classes throughout the course of the year on the off season, and continue to grow. Always looking at new and different ones. This last year we did our second annual youth track and field day, so
nice.
Got some notes on that for next summer on how to expand that.
Sure.
And look at and like I know you and I talked a lot about the Olympics. But watching some of those unique sports, like, wait a minute, could we run an adult handball league at the Y?
Yeah. I think we should do breakdancing, invite that Australian breakdancer to demonstrate how to breakdance. Please tell me you saw that.
I did, and I also learned if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you know what? Bless her heart. She tried her best.
Right down out there shooting blanks. But that was a scene, man.
Yeah, that was. But they do have a lot. So
they do, and like watching some of them, like this is really cool. Like this, like I don't know if you like beach handball. Like you get extra points by twisting in the air.
Yeah, really odd.
Like, how do you?
Yeah.
There's an artistic judge in a goal-based game. That's.
Yeah, very odd. But you know what? Maybe we'll bring some of this stuff. We don't know. You know, we'll keep you on your
There's some of those
toes.
sports where I was like, this sounds like it was invented by Liam. Like if you jump and spin, it's worth 2 points. Like, okay,
Yeah.
And everybody went with it. They're like, yeah, pass.
Yeah, it's very, very bizarre. But anyway,
we're always looking at different things and trying to do different things, but really taking a good hard look. If anybody's listening to this, like we need some guidance and help on esports.
Yeah,
we see that as an opportunity to get people to come play.
We might have a little space for that too.
Yeah,
you know?
we do. Our teen center down there
Yep.
is there, and I think that's an awesome opportunity to connect with kids on a non-traditional sports. And then we're always looking at our adaptive sports.
Yep.
And seeing what we can do there, and having that. I mean, it was really cool this last weekend at the U Triathlon to see our adaptive abilities and
that was cool.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
And to see that, and so we're at the Y, and we're about, and we were part of inclusion before it became a word.
Yeah, and if you want to be included in the Y, you can always volunteer as a ref. You can
ref coach. Even down to the point where like we have a volunteer that helps us mow our soccer fields.
Yeah.
And takes care of that.
Always something to do.
Always, and
to get involved.
And there's some help administratively, and so if you have some skills or anything else, I know there's always a place at the Y for people to be able to use their skills and not have us take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And even if it's just one-off stuff, I mean, coming and helping timing during the swimming.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool. And I know volunteering on my end, and you and I have talked about it, like, I like to take my kids to events where I end up volunteering, and so that they can see giving back to your community is a good thing, whether it's...
Right.
And Patrick still thinks I make all the pancakes at Pancake Day for Kiwanis, but
That's awesome.
But they get to see that, and I think that's important while raising my kids.
Sure. Well, let's get off topic a little bit with the wives.
On topic. All right, I'm glad we're getting back.
Yeah, I don't know. We're just here, you know. We're just here.
We're spitballing.
Because I always ask people, you know, non-YMCA related questions while I'm on the Y Guy podcast.
Do we call it the pod or the cast?
We don't call it either. We just call it the Y Guy podcast.
All right.
But maybe I should think of something cool to call it.
Welcome to the pod.
The pod. Welcome to the pod. The Y Guy pod. Yeah, I don't know. But also like to thank you still if you're still with us. It's worth your time, right?
It is.
So outside of work, what do you do? You know, what do you like to do? What music do you listen to?
Oh. Favorite band is the rock band named Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
Just introduced to heavy metal and grunge music. My brother is 9 years older than I am.
Okay.
So early 90s, that kind of stuff. There was a lot of Judas Priest being played, a lot of Metallica.
Judas Priest.
Yeah. Living after midnight. And then and Pearl Jam. Jeff and Matt, the bass player, is from Montana, so
there's a connection.
They'd always kind of tour Montana, so got to know and just fell in love with their music. And lately, my dad, as a second job growing up, was a radio DJ, so we always played in the car, like Name That Tune or Who Sings It. So I do have a wide variety of likes and dislikes, and a very unique ability to memorize lyrics and who sings it.
Yeah. That's fun. That's fun. So Pearl Jam. Okay. I mean, I don't hate Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam, Soundgarden.
I thought you said Savage Garden.
No.
I was like, you're getting a way different genre there.
Surely, madly, deeply, no. There is, Pearl Jam is the number one band. And then lately, like, just kind of...
Don't say Taylor Swift. I say that every time.
No, I don't. I enjoy... I have to know it because the kids out of camp know it. We even started making bracelets this summer just because of Swiftie. Gotta know your audience, James.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of Pearl Jam, and then
Rush.
No.
Shout out to Mike Brown. Rush, that's his favorite band.
Hate Styx. Can't stand Styx. But no, that's 90s grunge is where it would be.
That's fair. So you have your favorite band, favorite genre, music, favorite sports teams, Notre Dame, unfortunately.
Notre Dame.
You're a Phillies baseball fan.
Phillies for baseball. The Niners in NFL.
Yeah.
And then
solid choices.
Growing up in Montana, like, you kind of got to pick your teams. Like, there's no professional team.
Yeah, that's true. So you just kind of spin the wheel.
My aunt and uncle were season ticket holders to the Niners, so got Niner stuff. During World War II, my grandfather attended Notre Dame when it was the Navy school.
Oh,
that's
sure.
where they sent people. So he went there. He went there, and then it was kind of that moment, Rudy, where it's like the Irish round, sit down, shut up, we're watching this.
Yeah.
So, and then the Phillies, man, I just I fell in love with, like, the dirty baseball players of, like, Kruk and Dykstra and Dutch Dalton and Mitch Williams and Kurt Schilling is the sane one on your team. But they
ketchup
look like
packets
they
in
look
his
like
sock.
They look like ball players, and as like a fourth grade kid, man, that was like, wait, I can be gross and dirty and make a lot of money and play. Mullets galore, loved it.
Mullets galore. Oh, I had a shirt when I ran cross country in high school. Yeah, shockingly, I ran cross country for 1 year.
No, you attempted cross country.
Yeah, I did. I never finished last. But we had a shirt that said, "I love to run. It makes me smile. I think I'll run another mile." And then on the back it said, "Cross country cooler than a mullet." Yeah. I don't know why.
Nothing is cooler than a mullet.
Yeah. So, anywho, favorite sports teams, favorite music, favorite food, and then we'll get out of here.
Favorite food. All right. So, my dad owned a bakery, so I learned how to. I actually helped make my own wedding cake. I know how to bake. Here's a little fun fact for you.
Wow. What a trait to have.
It is. It's how I got Susan. I know how to cook. It is a thing called a pasty.
A what?
A pasty.
You mean a pasty?
No. No, a pasty. A pasty is a meat and potato turnover pie. So it's meat, potato, a little bit of carrots, a little bit of onions, salt, pepper, some other flavorings. You wrap it up in a pie shell crust, you tuck it under, and you bake it that way. It's like an Irish Hot Pocket.
Huh.
It is.
Irish, you didn't say that. Irish Hot Pocket.
It's like an Irish
Okay. I've never had a pasty.
Oh, I'm going to have to make some of them, man.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
They're great. And my dad's bakery back home, that's what we were known
pasty. Huh. Learned something new today. I usually stick to like mac and cheese and chicken nuggets.
What are you, 5?
Yeah, basically. I mean, my kids eat that too.
I want my nuggies and tendies.
Yeah, sometimes I get crazy. I'll have like
dip it in ranch instead of ketchup.
Yeah, maybe some barbecue sauce.
Oh, living on the wild.
Yeah.
No pasties, and then just also just a good old fashioned. I took the turn and I went to smoking meats instead of bird watching and war history. So any kind of smoked pulled pork, brisket, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that stuff's good, and I like that too. Well, thanks for sharing, Jerry. I had no idea, Jerry, no idea that those were your favorite things.
You have been waiting for the Newman.
No idea, Jerry. So as we go, you have any life advice or why somebody should join the Y, or any final thoughts?
Why somebody join the Y? The Y offers the chance. I legit tell my camp counselors this because it's my story as well, and I think yours as well, Drapes. YMCA offers an opportunity to change your life for the better. For you and I, that was a different career path than we probably set out for.
Yeah.
And enjoying it and living that. And for others, that is just an opportunity to be healthy and to do that and to be there. But the Y is always there. I've been known to tell former staff or people that end up not working for us, like, you know where to find us, you know where home's at. If people let the Y do that, we're definitely more than a swim place and a gym, and my best friends come from camp. Yeah. And so YMCA does offer a place that can absolutely change your life if you let it.
So well said.
Thanks, sir.
Well, thank you, Jerry, for coming on. We appreciate you taking time out of your super busy schedule. So, as I always do on the Y Guy podcast, we end with a dad joke.
Okay.
And actually, today I got 2. One's really short, and the other one's kind of short. So, the first one I got is, I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. That's one of my favorites. I don't know why.
That is a good one.
And the second one is, I once hired a limo, but when it arrived, the guy driving it walked off, and I said, "Excuse me, you're not going to drive me?" And the guy told me that the price didn't include a driver. So I spent $400 on a limo and have nothing to show for it. And with that, we bid farewell.
Can I add one?
Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, here you go. Ready?
Yeah.
This is unscripted, as we've been scripted the entire time, apparently. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back to you?
I don't know.
A stick.
What? I got nothing to say to that. So officially with that, we bid you farewell to today's episode 3 of the Y Guy podcast. If you've made it this long, we thank you for supporting and tuning in.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you again to Jerry, the Senior Program Director at your Findlay Family YMCA, for joining us today. Thanks again, Jerry. And thank you to University of Findlay again for letting us use their facilities to record the podcast. And remember, if there's one thing you do today, put a smile on someone's face and make a difference. Draper out.